Okay, let's do it. So hi everyone, thank you for joining the webinar with Katalon today. My name is Young. I'm the VP of Product at Katalon and in charge of developing Katalon Studio. Um, I'm very happy to be here with you guys today. So for the topic of the webinar, we're gonna introduce and demo to you the new features that we have in the latest release of Katalon Studio 7.8, especially the features that can help you enhance your test troubleshooting capability. So um, in the webinar today, we have two main speakers. Thomas, he's a software engineer from the product team, is also a very famous face in the forum that we know. And myself, Young, and we have other panelists who join in with us throughout the webinar in order to answer all the questions or concerns that you might have. So we decided to have more people to join the webinar uh, to, in order to reply to on the question that we have, and we figure out we couldn't make it due to the live time limitation in the previous webinar. So we hope that we can make it better this time. Right. For the agenda of the presentation today, firstly, I will give a quick introduction about Katalon, and then we move to the main sections with the new features, including the smart troubleshooting capability, time capsule, and browser-based recording. Those are among our unique features compared to other solutions in the market that we deliver in order to help the users or customer improve their productivity in the test maintenance process, the process that we all know that it become heavier and heavier when our project scale up. And then we also have an enhancement for window testing with coordinate-based recording. The features is to have allow Katalon Studio to interact with almost every kind of applications, regardless of their underlying technology. Lastly, we have several improvements for our integration with the application lifecycle management tool with cloud device providers, and also some new mechanism that we deliver in order to comply with the security standard of our customer. And then we have the Q&A section as usual. So for Katalon Studio, we are an all-in-one testing tool that help user to go through the whole test automation solution. So we are named at the best test automation software in 2020 and 2018 in Gartner, and also in other assessment platform. In IT Central Station, we were among the top 5 API testing tool in 2019, and in software world and Captura, we also among the best tool of automated testing software in 2019. So in order to know more about our tool, you can find the reviews of our user and customer in the platform, and hopefully it give you many ideas about how people feel and how people use our product. So with Katalon, we are not only a tool, but also we want to deliver a platform that help you to deal with every aspect of your continuous testing lifecycle. So other than Katalon Studio, we also have Katalon recorders and Katalon and Katalium. They are also test generation tool in different platform that can help match with different flavor of also of the automation testing engineer. Uh, we also have a Katalon Test Op. This is a central place for managing the test process and also manage your product quality. In test op, we have report for your results, execution results for your performance, as well as the CI/CD to control your execution process, and also the analytics to help you make better decisions to control your product quality and to deliver your product faster. So with Katalon platform, we cover on the end-to-end testing environment with API testing, mobile testing, web and desktop. We also working on new type of applications such as command line and terminal that we're gonna deliver in upcoming. So Katalon, we not only support to work on Macs and Windows and other platform, but we also support our user to work on a Linux environment. So at we know that Linux is a favorite operating system of many developers and QA. So we don't want them to change to other environment when working with Katalon Studio in order to utilize all the resource and on the capability of the team to deliver the best result that we have. So with Katalon, we also be available on cloud platforms such as Docker, Azure DevOps, and also Amazon Marketplace. So you can also start using Katalon right in Amazon without installing anything in your machine. So with that platform, we aim to deliver a place for you to work with the solution on the cloud. So you don't need to be, I mean, it depends on any environment, which is something very crucial for our time today due to the COVID things that give us the flexibility to work everywhere. All right, so we're gonna move to the main section today. Thomas, can you help with that?
Yes, thank you, Yang, for the introduction. I'm gonna take it from here.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me just share my screen first. So can you all see my screen?
Yes, fine.
Okay, great. Yep. Okay, so today's webinar, will only introduce 3 features. So I'm not in a rush or anything. So let me tell you a story about how this time capsule feature came to be, really. So the other day I was doing something, software development. I was doing something with Katalon, and I was executing a long-winded test case about, like 100 test steps or something like that. And I was also combining data-driven, and I was letting Catalan do the execution while I'm doing something else. And when I go back, the test case failed. And I mean, at that point in time, it's really hit me. Now I have to manually reproduce the state of the application when the test fails to see what's going on. And since the test failed because some locators were unable to identify elements, and I realized that some UI elements were updated, so that's why the test failed. But in order to fix the test, I have to manually reproduce that. And like I said, the test case had like 100 test steps or something. And I was also doing data binding. So just imagine the pain of that. It really makes me really sad, to be honest. But that's just a personal story. I believe that you can all identify with that story, at least in some elements. So in order to address that problem, generally speaking, that's why we introduced the feature Time Capsule. So let's move on to the problem. Now, like I said earlier, this is just a formal definition of the problem that it solves. So when UI elements are updated, your automated test will fail, right? Because the locators cannot identify new elements or change elements. And we all need the HTML structure to write correct locator. And we also need to reproduce the state of the website when the test fails. So for simple test cases or short test cases, this is relatively simple. You can just kind of visualize how to navigate to that screen in your head and just kind of do it. But for complex, long-winded test cases, for me, it was just 100 steps. But I mean, for other test cases, the number of test steps may go up to, 500 or something like that. So to reproduce that manually, or another way to reproduce is just to execute a test case again, but then if you do that, then the test may fail to other reasons, so you will waste time and not being able to find the original issue. So that's kind of the problem that Time Capsule is invented to solve. So let me go to Katalon to just demonstrate to you first how the feature actually works. Okay. So this is my Katalon screen. So Young, can you just see this just to confirm?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay,
Me too.
great. Okay, great. Yeah, because there was some issue in previous calls where I couldn't. I thought that the screen was sharing, but it actually didn't. So just to confirm. So anyway, let me open a test case. So to save you time, this is just 15 test steps, right? But I have designed this test case to fail at the 14 test step. So just imagine you have 100 test steps, and then in the 99th step, the test fails. So actually, let me execute that first, and then just to give you a vibe of how this test case actually goes. Yeah, so at this point, I'm trying to click on this go to homepage button, but the locator is invalid. So now the test step, oh wait, it's passing. Let me see what's going. Oh, yeah, that's because I forgot to disable self-healing. Yeah, and in case you don't know, let me execute a test again, but in case you don't know, self-healing is the feature of Katalon to automatically find the locators when your test fails. So right now, it just made my demo go a little bit unexpected. So as I was saying, I'm trying to click on this go to homepage button, but the locator of this object is invalid. So now the test will fail. So as you can see here, the test case failed. So when the test case fail, you can access the time capsule of this test case by looking at the log viewer and then click on the link, click here to fix broken test object right here. And the second way that you can access time capsule is on the test suite level. So for example, if you add a test case into a test suite, and then because I've already executed this test suite, you can go to the report folder or just the result tab. And in the result tab of a test suite execution, you can also access the time capsule by clicking on this button. Click here to fix the broken test object. And once you click that, yeah, so let me try to click on the test case again because I've deleted the previous time capsule. So for the test case, this is the time capsule. As you can see, this is not an image, right? This is an entire HTML, CSS, and it also retains the visual layouts of the application. So this is the state of the application when the test fails. So on this page, you can do a lot of things. For example, you can capture new objects. Yeah, you can capture new objects here. And then you can also fix the original broken test object. So for example here, this go to homepage button has an invalid locator. might as well doesn't have a locator. So now if I capture the object again, it will automatically update the correct locator into this object. And then I can just save this object. And that's how I fix my test. So to see that, let me close the spy tool and execute this test suite again because it's using the same test case. So now the test should pass. Yep, so as you can see here, now the test suite has passed. And if you can imagine for a long test case, reproducing the state of the application when the test fails can be very time consuming. And also you may use the time capsule to do other things. You can capture objects or you can pass it to the development team in order for them to identify the problems in case the problems are actually with your application. So the time capsule is available in the report folder. So if you go to the report folder, you can see the time capsule file is available as the um, oh so in this case the time capsule is not available because the latest execution actually succeeded. So the time capsule only generated when the time capsule when the test fails. So let me open the failed test execution. Yeah, so this is a failed test suite execution, and you can see this is a time capsule. And to open this time capsule, you can just drag this into your Chrome browser, and you can see the time capsule, and you can do various things with that. Inspect and write XPath against this time capsule. So like I said, it is very useful for multiple purposes. So let me go back to Katalon. And uh, yeah, so Time Capsule is enabled automatically in your project. So you don't have to enable it at all. And it will be triggered whenever a test case execution or a test suite execution, or even a test suite collection execution failed. So whenever an execution fails, the time capsule will be generated. And you can access the time capsule by going to the log viewer uh, for test cases and go into the report folders for test suite and test suite collection executions. So that's the time capsule feature. So to summarize, let me go back to this slide, and then uh, this is a slightly more um, this is a slide with more text. So like I said, the traditional way of reproducing the state of the application has many problems. So you can do it manually, which is time consuming and difficult for big test cases. You can also execute a test again with Katalon, but this is prone to other causes of failures. So this is just some to summarize the cost of maintaining the test when the UI updates in the traditional way is equal to the time or effort to execute a test again, either manually or automatically. With Time Capsule, this effort is cut down to zero. So whenever UI are updated, you just have to access the Time Capsule, and then you have all the information you need in order to fix the test. So that's the Time Capsule. Let me move on to another feature of the smart troubleshooting set of features that we introduce. So the browser-based video recording. Yep. So if you are familiar with, Selenium or other open source testing frameworks, you may have already uh, had witnessed the feature of video recording on the window level. So that means that it will record the entire screen as your test is executed. So it's basically like what Zoom is doing right now. Now, obviously, it has some problems because, first of all, it doesn't work for headless execution, right? Because for headless executions, there are no browsers opening up that you can see on the screen. So the execution cannot actually be captured by window level recording. And a second issue is parallel executions. So if you execute tests in parallel on a single machine, then you know uh, you can only see one browser at a time uh, if you look at a window level video recording. So there are two problems there. So that is why, in order to provide you with more information, in order to troubleshoot the test failures, and in order to resolve the problem successfully, we introduced the feature of browser-based video recording. So it should resolve these two issues that I just mentioned. First of all, it should work on headless executions. And the second of all, it should work on parallel executions. So again, let me switch back to Katalon in order to demonstrate that. So first of all, in order to enable this setting, you can go to project and then settings. And then in going to execution, and you can see that there is an option to record video during execution, and you can choose between browser based and window level based video recording. So this is the old option, and this is the new option. You can also choose to have video recordings for all test cases or for only failed test cases. So in my case, I'm selecting all test cases. So with that enabled, you can execute your test suite or test suite collection to see the video recording. So I have created a test suite collection, and then I have also added these two test suites here. You can see that one of them is executing in headless mode, and the other is executing on a regular Chrome browser. So let me also using the parallel executions, and then uh, we can execute this test suite collection, and I will show you the video recording of the headless execution, because that is more exciting, because the one executing on the regular Chrome browser, we can already see it on the screen. So recording it should also be available, should also be possible with window level video recording. But the video recording for the headless execution is much more interesting. Okay, so let me go to the report folder. So now you can see that in the report folder of these two test suite executions, you can see that there is a folder of video. And let me just, so this is the video recording of the regular browser, I think. And then this is the video recording of the headless browser. So the way that I know is that for headless browser, the browser's initial resolution is much more smaller than the regular browser. So this the execution on the regular browser, and then this is the execution on the headless browser. So let's see how that works. So as you can see, the browser-based video recording works on headless execution, and also it works for test suite. It works for parallel executions as well. So these two problems were uh, were not addressed by the window level recording. but then now it is possible with the browser-based video recording. So that should open up uh, new possibilities for your team. So if you use headless, if you want to speed up your execution speed overall, then you should go with headless execution. But then previously there was a drawback because for headless execution, you could not see the video recording. So if it fails, you have to spend more time to identify and then to understand the issue. But now with this new feature, you can just look at the video recording for headless executions and see exactly how the execution actually went. And you can almost immediately understand why your test failed. And also you can combine that with the time capsule feature. So like I said, there are two of the smart troubleshooting features that Katalon offers. So actually to know more about smart troubleshooting features of Katalon, you can go to this URL, Katalon Smart Troubleshooting, and then you can see there are 4 features in this smart troubleshooting set of features that we provide. So time capsule, the browser-based video recording, the self-healing, because the best troubleshooting is no troubleshooting at all. In other words, self-healing helps you to prevent execution problems before they even appear. And the test failure snapshot. So this is the screenshot. If you don't know, Katalon Studio can also generate screenshots of your executions of the state of the application when the test fails. So these are just images. So Time Capsule is, you can treat Time Capsule as a more enhanced version of test failure snapshots. But images have their advantages as well. So that's the troubleshooting test failures features. And again, let me move on to the slide with more text. And this is just kind of the summary of what I just presented. For window level video recording, it could not address 2 problems. And for the browser level video recording, it can successfully solve these 2 problems. And the result is that your execution speed can be optimized and you don't have to trade off between speed and then accurate troubleshooting. So the browser level video recording is available for Chrome, for Microsoft Edge, and for headless Chrome for now. And it's available on Test Suite and Test Suite Collection. Yep, so again, you can visit this URL. Let me paste that into the chat for you to see. And that should be the end of my part. I'm gonna hand things back to Yang in order to continue with the demo. Yang, can you take over?
Great, Thomas. Thank you for your presentations. Okay, let me share my screen. All right. So can you see my screen right now, Thomas?
Yes, I can see it, Yang.
Hello, guys. So we come into the next features in our presentation today. Is gonna be an enhancement in window testing with coordinate-based recording. So as I mentioned previously, in our uh, latest versions of Katalon Studio 7.8, we support a new time of recording and keyword that can help us another way to to locate our element. So before that, in Katalon Studio, the only way to locate elements is based on expert names or attributes. But for as reported from our user and customer as well, we cannot deal with other situations since that a lot of different type of underlying technologies, and that WinApp Driver, the technology that we based on, cannot support. So that the motivations for us to build another mechanisms of locations by using coordinator. So it's not just a workaround to deal with difficult, some situation that we cannot locate object before, but it's also an enhancement and add on to what we have right now in order to have a test for almost all of the scenario regarding of the underlying technology of the applications. So let me show it real quick. Okay. Right. So just to quick check, Thomas, can you see my studio?
Yes, Young, I can see it.
All right. So this is Katalon Studio. Let me just do native window recorder. All right. So you can see here we have a new options. It say enable coordinator-based recording, and the applications that I will pick here is Katalon Studio. So we using Katalon to automate Katalon by Excel. And let's just get it started. All right, so we in the native recording mode. So you can see here more of the elements on the applications we can detect. But as you see here, there are cross checks button close here. Actually, it cannot detect. So many cases in the applications that Singui is not really using the default components of the of Windows, and that the reason why is not all the time the applications the recorder can recognize it. So we have trouble with the text and interact with button like this. Just me project. All right, so it can be the same thing that we have with expand or collab button right here. So we can interact with most of the element except for element like this. So in the case, in order to interact with the element, we can like click on enable coordinator-based recording. And then just click, right? Just go back to recording, say that now it's gonna be a click element offset keyword gonna be applied, and it will locate the positions based on the parent that it can detect with the position that we click. So with such way, we can interact with the element more precisely, and even the element that we can not locate before. Right. So just cancel it. Right. So I have recorded a test already. Very simple test case that it's gonna close the stack page here and close the applications. Right. So let me just run that. Okay. So I have a runtime engine ready set up to run with this with the test suite, including this test case. First, let me just close Studio, making sure that it will not interfere with the execution. Right. Okay, just run the test. Right. So you know already that Katalon Studio window-based testing, we leverage WinApp Driver. This is a library supported by Microsoft. So more of the applications that are developed based on Microsoft technology like WinForms, window presentation workflow, and on more of the applications you have in Windows, it can be supported really well with a WinApp driver. But for many customers that we have, they using such as Oracle Farm, Java Farm, and they have trouble with detect interact with the element for the applications. And I just mentioned previously that the motivation for us to have the improvement, to have like user have be interactable with more applications regardless of the underlying technology. Right. So it seemed that when I using Zoom to record my screen, something just happened. Let me just do it other way. Maybe just Zoom interfere with the process, and it make Katalon Studio cannot detect the element due to it lose the focus on the applications. Mm. So Thomas, you still see in my screen?
Yes, I can still see it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I think it's just close the tab, but it needed some more time to actually close the application. But yeah, I think it successfully closed the tab, the start page tab.
Right. So actually for after execution, you can find the report here. So let's see if everything like okay. So let me check. Yep. So we can see that on the executions that had been go through with the staff. Yes, and we got it successfully. All right. So next time I need to like be more patient with Zoom. Like, okay. All right. So that's it for the coordinate-based recording. So other than though, we also have several new features that we have for enhancement our integration with LM and cloud device provider. So for example, in QTAT integrations, we have new features with the versioning synchronization and parity report. So this feature for making sure that on the content of the automated test case is up to date with the applications, so that when the test fail or something go wrong, we know that the application, the automation test case need to be up to date. With Katalon integration, we support single sign-on with the API key. With the new mechanism, people can integrate with Katalon even if they use our username password, or even they sign Katalon with SSO. And for Jira integration, we now support the capability to import the BDD content into Studio, something that we only support for Jira server before. And last but not least, we introduce new security and intellectual property compliance. So for example, we have the checksum mechanism. So right now people can double check whether the Katalon Studio package that they download and use is really the same packet that we deliver. So we might get over with the problem that someone just deliver and inject a more malicious code or things into the packet and get a download. Also, we have a report for with the scanning of on the open source library that we're using. This is again one of the requests for our customer that they need to make sure we um, use a good library in order to comply with the policy that they have. All right, so that's all for our introduction and demo today. Thank you, everyone. And we jump to the Q&A section. All right. So, Tomat, you want to have, it seems there are many questions to your time capsules and BrowserBased. Can you have to go through that a bit and make the answer to our attendee?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I can see that Sang and Time, so the guys in our team, and also have answer many questions already. So 10 for the work, guys.
Okay. So let me see through some of the questions with time capsule. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, time capsule is generated only when your test fails. So it should only be generated for the last step of your test case. If your test case does fail. So that's one thing, and I don't think it will decrease the performance. Uh, I think it's a I mean it can be a couple of seconds, but I think that the cost of that is relatively well for the benefits. And let me see if there is another question with time capsule. Also, there was a previous question asking if you have a test case that logs into your system. Uh, do you have to log in again with time capsule? And the answer is no. So that's what is cool about time capsule. It captures the state of the application, so you don't have to log in your system. Basically do anything besides just accessing the time capsule. Okay. So I don't see any other question with time capsule. So let's move to the browser-based video recording. So from Francesco, how is screen resolution being handled? So I believe this is a question for browser-based video recording. So you can pass in the screen resolution for your browser in the design capabilities. Uh, so it should be, the video recording should be available regardless of the screen resolution. And I mean, the fact that it works with headless, with headless executions actually proves that you don't even need the browser to open up for it to work. And okay.
All right. So the question from Emmanuel, coordinated recording available for standard KS? So the answer is yes. So it worked for native window recorder and a normal recorder as well. It also have keyword for you to apply. So you can you can use this with KS community version. All right. So
Okay, so let me just scroll to the chat box because I think there's a lot of question there. Okay, from Andrew. Integration with Jenkins for automated testing in CI/CD. So there is a documentation which should give you a head start on how to integrate Jenkins and Katalon runtime engine for CI/CD. Yeah, so I think there's a documentation for that already. You can go to the documentation page.
all
Okay.
right. So in the meantime, I'm gonna start a poll. So it's great if we have feedback from all of you guys in order to make our next webinar as well as our other activity better. So please help us to do the poll. So there are a question that it seems from an anonymous attendee. It seems like export artifact features it removed from the free version of 7.7. So actually, the export artifacts, these are part of KSAT enterprise from the beginning. So I'm not sure why this yes, you think so, but just let us know more detail in the forum so we can help you to deal with that. But I believe that is something belong to the enterprise version from the beginning. Yes. And for Time Capsule, I just want to clarify that is belong to the community version as well. So yep, you guys can use this with the free community versions, and hopefully you can also give out like feedback for the features because at Thomas just mentioned is a new innovative initiative from us. So we need your feedback in order to make it better and more useful.
Okay, so for Marcus, the WinApp driver, the question is, can we use WinApp driver with the free, with the community edition of Katalon? So yeah, so WinApp driver is a separate software that is necessary to do window testing. So I mean, you can imagine it like a third-party software that you have to install in order to get the window testing going. So it doesn't depend on the whether it's a community version or the enterprise version. But a related point is that native window recorder is available for enterprise version only.
Okay, for a question with Laura regarding recording on Canvas with the map. So, so I'm afraid that it is not something that it is supportable right now with the coordinate um, based recording, because for Canvas it more interactions, and then I mean the viewports are changed over the time as well. So if you have a fixed map and you want to interact to a specific position, so I think it's work. But if your map is not really fixed and it dynamic and them different way that you want to interact with that, so it's something that we need to improve more in order to support.
Okay, it's from Xavier. In the future, will Katalon update API and web service responses verification? So yeah, so we do have some plans to improve API testing experience. So please stay tuned. Please stay
Um,
tuned. Yeah.
so a question from Rebecca regarding the Vue.js. So have you done any testing with Vue.js? So with Katalon Studio for web UI testing, we believe that it support for on-time a framework. It work for Angular and React, React as well, so that we know from our user and customer. So it will be the same for Vue.js, I believe. All right. So
So from David, GitLab integration with CI/CD. So yeah, so uh, you can find the documentation to see how Katalon works with GitLab. But yeah, we do have that integration. You can integrate Katalon with GitLab for your CI/CD.
all right. So it's time for the question that we haven't covered today. So we will share with you guys later in our forum. And again, so thank you everyone for joining the webinar with us today. We will have like more activity and more webinar in the futures. And on your feedback today will be very valuable for us to make us better. So thank you everyone again, and have a good day. So thank you, Thomas, Thai, and Sang.
Thank you, Yang. Hi, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Have a nice day. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. Bye, Andrew. Bye, Jeremy. Goodbye. Stay safe.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.